I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Okay, hello everyone. We're here for Pawnee Rangers, which is iconic episode alert.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yes.
I didn't realize that it was the same one as Treat Yourself.
Yes, I know. I was very excited too, because I didn't put that together either.
Yeah, I totally thought they were two separate ones, but they are amazing. I feel like they're both A storylines. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, because Treat Yourself...
I mean, I know technically it's not, but still.
But Treat Yourself is such a staple of Parks and Rec that it seems like it's an A line too, you know?
Yeah.
Or
100%.
A story.
I think maybe that's what it is. It's like it's become a story because it's been repeated so often now. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I think because Pawnee Rangers doesn't really come up again. Like this whole camp situation doesn't come up again, but Treat Yourself is like it's something everybody uses now in their day-to-day.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God. Okay. Well, this is credited. I think Treat Yourself is credited, which I've heard before because Pawnee Rangers Season 4, Episode 4 is written by Alan Yang, who we all know and love. And I'm pretty positive he came up with the whole shebang of Treat Yourself.
Love
so we have him to thank. And then this amazing directing was directed by Charles McDougall, who has also directed Desperate Housewives, Sex and the City, 8 episodes of The Office, and 2 episodes of Parks, including this one. He also directed Kaboom, which is very exciting.
That's such a shift to go from like Desperate Housewives to The Office and Parks and Rec.
I know, it's really interesting. I feel like so many directors can just kind of go between different like genres and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Quick recap before we get into this. With Norm, we talked about Dionysus, the goddess that Jerry paints Leslie as, and I totally forgot there is a goddess named Diana. She is a huntress. So Diana totally has to be a mixture of the Dionysus, you know what I mean, and the other stuff. So I'm just saying.
Is that where they got the name for Wonder Woman? Because isn't her name Diana?
I think so.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it could be. It really could be.
Huh.
But anyway, so that's
women.
probably half the name. I know, right? Amazing goddesses, warriors.
Yes.
Also, I did find out where this was not a recap from last week or last episode, but I just was looking at some locations for this episode, and I found that the bookstore in Pawnee, the greatest town in America, where she's doing her reading, it was at this bookstore in Pasadena, actually, called Vromans, Vromans, and it is where City Hall. So, well, I mean, Pasadena is also where Pawnee City Hall is in real life, so I'm sure it wasn't like too far away to go shoot there right next to the Rose Bowl. So just thought that we should mention that.
Love it.
And then I do have, okay, so Pawnee Rangers, I didn't really know where to put this, so I just figured I would just say it right at the top. But Pawnee Rangers, when I think about it, obviously, is Girl Scouts to me. So I basically did a medium deep dive. I didn't want to say mini deep dive because it's probably a little bit more than mini. But I just wanted to kind of go on a little bit of a rant that this Girl Scouts was started by Juliette Gordon Lowe. She's also widely known by her nickname Daisy, which makes so much sense because there are daisies in Girl Scouts.
Aw.
Like it's a section. Like
yeah,
you do brownies,
right, brownies.
And then daisies. I thought that was so cute. I don't know if
That
that's
is
really
cute.
real, but I thought that was cute. So she started Girl Scouts in 1912 in Savannah, Georgia, which is where she's from.
Okay.
And the first troop was 18 girls. This was when women couldn't vote and were definitely not encouraged to have like curiosity or independence or survival skills or anything like that. So that was interesting to me. And Juliette, the founder, met Robert Baden Powell, who was the founder of Scouting. Which I didn't know, it sounds stupid, but I didn't really know the word scouting was like a thing or a noun, really. So there is a world organization of the Scout movement, and that is where the umbrella that Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are under, which is really fascinating to me.
Okay.
But there's a Scout method, which is a program of informal education with an emphasis on practical outdoor activities. And technically, so like I said, technically Boy Scouts and the World Organization of Scout Movement are different, but they're like under the same umbrella. But anyway, Boy Scouts was founded in 1911. So Boy Scouts was 1 year before Girl Scouts. And from what I can see, Robert Baden-Powell, Robert Baden-Powell wasn't the Boy Scouts dude. He was the World Organization of Scout Movement dude. So, which I don't know. From my research, they seem very similar. So I'm really not sure. There are other scouting, quote unquote, scouting like organizations, but they're not as big as Girl and Boy Scouts. Right. So anyway, so they encouraged, or he kind of encouraged Juliet, or inspired, I guess, Juliet to do it. And then Girl Scouts became an international group in the 1920s, which I did not know was international.
I didn't
from
either.
Mexico to China, there are troops everywhere.
So I wonder if that's like, I don't know how to put this. I wonder if it's they go and they have the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, but if it's actually like funded by the national people, or if it's people who like travel. Because I know we had Boy Scouts in China, but it was run by American expats. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think they're just everywhere. I don't know if it's necessarily like Girl Scouts has to be. Girl Scouts is its own organization. Like it's, I mean, there is an umbrella technically of that World Organization of the Scout Movement or whatever, but they're like different things. So like they have their own like staff and everything. So I don't know how that works internationally.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I was never a Girl Scout. Did you Girl Scout?
Yeah, I did. My sister and I both did. And my sister, I asked Brooklyn to be on this episode because she is actually a volunteer for Girl Scouts now. And she is so good at it and loves it so much. She teaches like rock climbing, and they do camping, obviously. And they also do, what did she just get trained in? Zip lining. Yeah, they do the zip lining.
I love zip lining.
They do all that kind of stuff. And it's really cool. So, but yeah, we definitely did it. I think I got out of it in like middle school, and then I got back in high school for like a year, and then I got back out of it again. But it's a really cool organization, and I feel like I learned so much about camping and stuff like that in it. I definitely also think that once you get older, you are learning more, because when you're younger, I feel they're like, I'll be honest, they taught you like how to braid and how to like make kind of like what home ec kind of did almost. Right. But I don't think it's as much like that anymore. And if it is, someone please tell me. But I still think it like had a lot of other information and like outdoorsy stuff too. Yeah. But anyway, so, they always were of service, which is kind of one of the things, like, yes, the survival skills, but they were always a service organization. So in the 1930s, they helped with the Great Depression by collecting food and clothing. And in the 1940s, they helped in World War II. They sponsored defense institutes that taught women survival skills and techniques for comforting children during air raids. They did, I think they did something with... I think they like recycled metal parts for like equipment and stuff that they needed for the war. They did a lot of stuff, which was really interesting.
Yeah. That's so cool.
But yeah, so I thought that we would do a little mini deep dive, because I feel like Leslie is definitely bringing quite a bit of those skills apart from puppy days.
Puppy days.
Yeah. Puppy parties. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so if you have more information about Girl Scouts, and I definitely asked Brooklyn I didn't ask her any like deep questions, because she kind of tells me what she has to do, but I just think it's really cool. So definitely a fan of Girl Scouts.
Nice. Love it. Love that we have more of a background now too, because that's definitely the vibe I got here. It was like Boy Scouts versus Girl Scouts.
Totally. Okay, now I have summary whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Okay, so the Pawnee Rangers. Ron and Leslie go toe-to-toe in trying to find out who has the best club. Ron struggles with teaching skills while also keeping kids engaged. Leslie struggles with what equality really means. Donna and Tom celebrate their Treat Yourself Day and decide to include Ben. Chris and Jerry become much, much closer.
Oh my God, Chris and Jerry. I have so much to say about the Chris in this one.
I have a lot to say about a lot of things.
I know, right? Oh my God. Okay, we'll get there. Also, love what you said about the equality thing, because and I'm sure what you said is exactly what I wrote. So when we get there.
Yes.
Okay, so we start this episode with Ron giving a speech basically to a bunch of young kids for Wilderness Weekend. And Andy is there to help as Brother Nature, which I think is funny.
I love that.
Me too.
So much.
I know.
I don't know who came up with it, but
I know. I wonder if Alan wrote that, Alan Yang.
yeah. And I love how he says Andy or Brother Nature, and then Ron calls him Andy and he goes, Brother Nature.
How dare you?
Like I've decided that's definitely what you need to call me now.
Right. And Ron is very no nonsense. Like, we are in the wilderness, fend for yourself vibes. Like, we are not effing around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he has this line where he says, I think he says it's like, this is the idea of the weekend, or the theme of the weekend is be a man.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the handbook.
The handbook.
He shows the handbook that he wrote for him, that he wrote himself, and it's just one sentence that says "Be a man." These are the rules.
Yes, and that's like, I get it, and it fits this very well. But it's like, you and I can do the same thing. Like, it doesn't have to just be a man,
right?
I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, and it's like, oh, because men, can survive in the wild. I'm like, okay, well, when we look back at when we had to survive in the wild, the women did too. Like, it wasn't just you guys. And they had to bear
the children as well.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah.
I know, as much as Ron says that he is not trying to, like, gender this, or, like, as much as that's his vibes or whatever, it is, Yeah. And we learn that a little bit more. They both have flaws, and like, he likes those strong women. He does say that, but he doesn't really talk about the equality of it all, which I have notes about a little bit later. I wanted to let you know there is a deleted scene here. It's really funny, where before the Rangers leave, as they're leaving the door, Ron says to punch him in the stomach as hard as they can as they're exiting. And Ron says, don't hold back, because the bitch that is Mother Nature won't either. I was like, okay. Shit. All right. And then, so everybody punches him, like the kids punch him, and then Andy tries to punch him, and like Ron lightly punches Andy back, and Andy like falls over and starts like shaking, like as if he's kind of having a seizure out on the ground. And I'm like, this is so weird. We didn't need that.
The cutout was a good choice.
Yeah. Well, then we see a stark difference with Leslie and her Pawnee goddesses, and she's giving out badges, super colorful and bright, like in contrast to the brown, gross uniforms and like, bland stuff that the Pawnee Rangers have, which is was really well done, I thought. Best Penguin Blog is an award, which I thought that was so weird, but so funny.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to like make a comment on some of the like, because I don't know, right? Because I didn't do Girl Scouts, but like, if there's some badges that are just like, why does this exist? I know, kind of like the participation badge.
There's a bunch. There's like a fire building badge and like a camping badge. I don't think that I think Leslie's just making up shit. I don't think there's anything as random as the Best Penguin Blog.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely, as far as I can remember, maybe I'm crazy, but I do not remember a flyest hairstyle type of badge.
No, and the flyest hairstyle badge goes to someone who's literally wearing their hair down.
Oh, like down as in
like I am right now.
Yeah.
And it's
everyone else's is up. Is that what it is?
Well, there's a girl next to her that has a like really pretty braided like bun.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even look at like the merit of it.
Yeah. So it made me think. So this was my question too, is this ongoing? Or is this just a weekend? Because I feel like when you're giving out badges, like they had to have met at some other point. Right?
Yeah, that's a good question. I see what you're saying, though. Like, maybe there's like multiple weekends. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Multiple
yeah, like it's a summer
weekends.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, I just Googled what each like badge are or is in Girl Scouts, and it says generally each badge connects to a specific subject matter. Coding. Oh, coding is now in there. That's so lovely.
That's awesome.
That's great. Oh my gosh, I just listened. I'll have to post it. One of my favorite podcasts recently has been Networth and Chill with your rich BFF, Vivian, I forgot her last name, but she, is like, she has a lot of financial tips and stuff, and she just interviewed the Girls Who Code CEO, and I loved it, so I'll have to post that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, coding, first aid, animal habitats, and it, like, you have to go through it to earn it. Does that make sense? Like, I think Leslie's kind of, like, you don't have to do stuff to get it. Right? Maybe you do. That would be really funny if you had to like prove to Leslie how you do your hair so that you could get the you know what I mean?
Just to make sure your mom didn't do it.
Right. There's an outdoor adventure, horseback riding, archery, paddling, ultimate recreation challenge. Like there's a lot of really cool badges, it looks like.
That's awesome.
So
I'm sure they've changed over the years too.
Yeah, hiking. Yeah, not best eyes or whatever. But again, she's creating this, so she feels that she definitely has the authority on it. So that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we learned that the history of the Pawnee goddesses is where a plucky 5th grader, by the way, I love the adjective plucky. I want to be known as that. A plucky 5th grader wanted to join the Pawnee Rangers but couldn't because it was all boys. So Leslie started the Pawnee goddesses for her. And I think that's great. I love that.
Yeah. The reason for starting this group is so genuine and real. And I think it's great. And it's not the first time a girl has ever been told she can't be part of something because she's a girl. So the fact that Leslie was like, no, like we're going to do something about it and we're going to give you a place to do this and participate in something like this, then I think that's really cool.
Yeah, me too. There is a deleted scene where, so she gives Anne the second flyest hairstyle. Yeah. I wasn't even competing for that, I'll say. Yeah. Oh, Leslie, so mean. Anyway, in the deleted scene, she gives April, she was like, I know you don't want like badges, like you think they're dumb or whatever, so I'm giving you a tiny mouse skull. And it's like in this cute little like ring box kind of thing, and April's so tickled, she loves it. She says the line like, oh my God, I hate it. You know what I mean? Meaning she loves it. It's so cute.
In front of children.
Right. Oh my God. I also love this t-shirt and this line so much. We're called the Pawnee Goddesses and we're freaking awesome.
Yes. I love that there's a t-shirt, that they actually made a t-shirt for it.
I feel like me and Brooklyn would 1000% do this. Like if we had found out about somebody that couldn't join or something. Yeah. I don't know. It just made me want that shirt too.
Yes. Oh, it's a great shirt.
Anyway, so I have that the next thing is her like being like her and Ron talking and like competing. Do you have anything before that?
No, yeah, I just have that her Southern. I love this accent that she.
Me too.
Because it's like a mix of Southern, but also like kind of got a 1950s vibe with it too. You know, so well done, and she breaks because she forgets like where her thought was going or whatever.
Oh my God. It
so
is
well acted.
So good. I don't know. I really would love to know, like, if this was written or I'm sure it was in some way, shape, or form. But like Amy's stamp on it is so good. I love. I feel like I don't do it much anymore, but I used to do like this kind of like almost impression of her whenever I heard something stupid or like sexist. Oh my stars! I'm just a little lady. It's so cute. But this is where I get to the part where we were talking about earlier with Ron about the gendered thing, the line of or the notion that boys wanted to have a weekend away without being distracted by girls. I was like, this whole notion of girls being the problem, et cetera, is such a stupid, like, patriarchal bullshit, which is why I love that she says, well, maybe my goddesses don't want to be distracted by losers, which, like, again, I know that part is competitive and whatever, but, like, the point that I'm trying to make, which you get, and I don't really need to explain it to our audience, I don't feel, but it's just this whole thing of, like, it's all the girls' fault, even though the dudes are the ones that are, like, I don't want to use the word assaulting, but
also aren't they 10? Are they really distracted by girls?
I don't know. That's what they
point?
say. This whole boys will be boys situation.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I had written, right? It's like, they're like 10. So part of me was like, is it Ron that wants to be away from the women? Because he had that whole tumultuous time of being with Tammy and other Tammy and all this stuff. Like maybe he just put his own thing on the boys without realizing he was doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've heard from many people, like, because, I listen to a lot of podcasts with women, and I've heard from many people that it is a real thing that they think they being, the patriarchy thinks that this starts young. So I have no doubt that Ron believes that a 10-year-old would be distracted by a girl. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And my other point was exactly what you were saying. Is like, and whose fault is that?
Yeah.
That if they're distracted, that's not our fault. That's not.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I am sure that this is 100%, like, this would start at even kindergarten. Well, like, the girl was, egging him on or something just by wearing a short skirt or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what that line gave me, what Ron said.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really, like, kind of fascinating. And I don't know if it was meant to be this deep, but that's exactly what came forth. So.
Well, yeah. And I think because now we've gone through this whole movement now. Mm-hmm. Whereas back then we hadn't hit this movement yet.
That's true.
Where people are calling people out for, like, I can dress how I want to dress. Like, it's not my job to keep his eyes to himself.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's almost like ahead of its time almost.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because the thing is, like, this has been talked about forever and ever. Amen. It's just like before Me Too, it wasn't as non-taboo, if that makes sense. So,
and widely spoken about.
Yeah. But I will say the trying to get him to say that her club is better is really funny and troublesome at the same time.
Yeah. We're seeing children who are about to go take care of children.
Yeah.
Basically,
that's real.
Is kind of what it is.
Yes. And then Ron says he never says anything that someone else is trying to get him to say. And he talks about how his wedding took 2 hours because he wouldn't say anything, like his vows or whatever. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Ron.
Okay, so now Ben is here in the office with Donna and Jerry, and he's going over paperwork and auditing and is being a huge major pain in the ass, kind of going back to like season 3 Ben, or like the beginning of Ben. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says that Jerry hasn't filled out a PC-10 form. By the way, that's a pension form. Which, Jerry, hello, you say multiple times later that like you're X amount of years away from your pension. You got to fill out that paperwork, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Doesn't just happen.
Also, you can apply for disability on this pension form as well. I saw in my research. So,
cool.
Love this like kind of foreshadowing when Donna's like, "What is wrong with you? Did Game of Thrones get canceled?" I would love to see. Well, first of all, he says nothing is wrong, but then he can't help himself, and he has to like go on a tangent of how Game of Thrones would never get canceled. But I would love to see his reaction to this day and age where there is no Game of Thrones anymore.
There's not.
There's House of Dragon.
It needed to not. It needed to be done.
It ended so poorly.
Yeah, well, it's because they started writing without a book.
I know.
They had no book to go off of. Who does that?
I just feel like it could have, they could have done something with all that they've done before.
Oh,
they could have figured
been way
something
better.
out.
Yeah, could have been way better.
They could have figured something out. But House of Dragon actually really surprised me, I think, because I had very low expectations because of the Game of Thrones ending. But I'm really into it, and I love Matt Smith and what's her ass. Oh my God, both of the gals, the young gal and the older gal. I like both of them.
Yeah, Connor says it's good.
It is good. It's really good. It's worth a watch if you haven't watched it yet.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Anyway, Ben explains that he doesn't really have a reason to stay in Pawnee anymore because there was a certain person he was staying for, but he does have a meatball sub punch card or whatever the hell, and it's expired. It's so sad.
I feel
really
for
do a great
him.
job of making him so like melancholy vibes. Ugh.
Yeah, well, because we saw him be a happy person, and now we're like dripping back, like you said, into who he was at the end of season 2, beginning of season 3.
Yeah.
And I have a comment here for like Donna, and she says we do our paperwork at our own speed. Like, yeah, okay, Ben is having attitude right now that you're not used to, and like, yes, let's get to the bottom of that. But like, also, do you tell your boss that?
I know, that's true.
Like, this comfort level is uncomfortable for me.
Also, what does that mean as far as your own speed? Does that just mean you never do them?
Well, yeah. Well, they're 2 years behind.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what?
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. Good call.
So, yeah, that was my uncomfort moment of like, I get what you're doing, but also like, I don't think you just tell your boss you're doing your stuff at your own speed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or like you'd say it in a different way maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. Or hey, we had other stuff come up or whatever. But
Right.
yeah.
Now we are headed to the actual forest or whatever for weekend. What's it called? Weekend Warriors? No. Oh my God, what's it called?
Weekend Warrior was the
Wilderness
workout.
Weekend. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wilderness Weekend. So we're headed to the forest, to the cabin or whatever. And I actually never noticed the vans that actually take them to the forest. That's really fun. And it's really cute. The Pawnee Goddesses, I don't know if you noticed, but they have like a duct tape situation on the van that says we're number one. But the we're is spelled Weire. And I don't understand what that was. Like why? But anyway.
That's weird.
It again also though it has that contrast of like their van is really like bright and colorful and decorated and the other one is just like a regular old van.
Yeah, and I had a comment here because now everybody's got their like I was paying more attention and saw everybody, all the boys have their hats on, right? And I'm like, this is so well done. Like you can tell that this is not like Ron designed these. It literally says Pawnee Rangers on it. Like there's no like logo or anything. You know, it's very one color. It says Pawnee Rangers. Done.
Yeah.
So
just what it needs to say.
very, very well done to the wardrobe team here with both of these.
Yeah, and speaking of like getting to the point / like the minimalist approach he's taking, Ron gives the Rangers a box with 2 gifts, quote unquote 2 gifts. Yes. One is a canvas sheet and the other is the box itself.
Yeah.
Also, I felt really stupid, but I didn't realize / like I think I knew this, but I didn't really realize that tarpaulin is the full name for tarp.
I didn't know that either.
Because he says tarpaulin, and I'm like, what the fuck is a tarpaulin? And then I looked it up, and it's tarp.
I think my brain did not even catch that he said that, and it was just like tarp.
Yeah. I was like, what? But yeah, he says that the tarp or tarpaulin, the canvas sheet, can be used as a tarp or in like a worst case scenario, art.
God forbid. I want to know how he expects them to build something to sleep in when the box isn't that big, and like how is it supposed to hold up the tarp? Because tarps are pretty heavy.
I know. I was thinking that it was more of like a like you would use sticks and stuff and a rock to make your shelter kind of thing. But I don't understand. Like the box doesn't really have any sort of survival to me anyway. To the layman non-adventurer, maybe. I don't know what the box does.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I guess you could put it over your head if it rains.
Yeah. There you go. Umbrella. That'll become soggy very soon.
Exactly. Well, the goddesses are in a cabin now, which is, again, a very nice contrast that the goddesses are in a shelter, like an actual cabin. It looks so cute and so, like, decorated and whatever. I love this loosely structured craft time. Lauren made a Gertrude Stein, which is such a nice pun because it's in a beer stein. Gertrude Stein, which I had heard that name before, but I didn't really completely know, but she was a writer of poems, plays, books. She was influential in the avant-garde like literature, meaning that she didn't her books didn't always have a plot, and so they were kind of just like train of thought is what I was reading. But I wasn't actually as familiar with any of the titles, so I don't know if I've read any of them, to be honest.
No, I hadn't heard of any of them, honestly. But I know that she influenced other writers such as E.E. Cumming and Ernest Hemingway, and that makes sense for me. I'm not an Ernest Hemingway fan. Like, people can hate me.
That's
but
fine. I feel like people really only read him in high school. I'm sorry. But
yeah, my dad loves him, and I just I can't get into it. Yep. And I think it's because it's kind of like that where, like, I don't know if you've read The Old Man and the Sea. That's a big one that they make you read in like high school and stuff. It's literally a guy who goes out to sea, and I think he comes upon a whale or whatever, right? Like, but it's like just nothingness. I'm like, there's no plot here. I'm so bored.
Yeah.
So maybe it kind of,
which is what she's famous for. So maybe she did influence him.
Yeah. So, but I'm with you though. I didn't recognize any of her work.
Yeah,
so.
There was a quote that I thought I wrote down, but I guess I don't. And also what they meant when they said avant-garde, not having a plot, blah, blah, blah. She also came up with phrases similar to like, it is what it is kind of thing. Like, doesn't really say what the situation or the solution or anything is. It's just kind of like what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
like she had a lot of those kind of, I guess, writing not skills. She had a lot of those phrases that didn't really
Gotcha.
make sense, but you were kind of like, okay, I guess I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know where I could use it, but why?
Right. Yeah. Which, look, we use those kinds of phrases all the time now.
All the time.
Where we know, where we don't know what else to say, so we're just saying that.
Yep. Yep.
Quick thing, Lauren was played by Danny Fish, who looks to be doing a lot of crew work now, but she's also an actor still. She was also in the editorial department, according to IMDb. Looks like she was a researcher for some docs, but she's also done more acting things as she's gotten older. Like I said, she was also popular for Teen Wolf, which I saw on IMDb, which I never actually watched, but maybe I'll have to watch it for her. But I have been in contact with her, and I'm
Nice.
very excited for her. She was going to send some voice memos, but then she kind of changed her mind, and because I made it clear I was not going to post this after the strike, until after the strike, but she kind of was like, I'd feel more comfortable sending you these after, which I get. She doesn't know me, so I was like really sad, unfortunately, because I was like, no, I want to hear what your answers are, but I totally get it. So I'll have to reach back out to her and do that as a recap, and I let her know. I was like, I have no idea when that is going to come out. Like, when your voice memos might be like 3 seasons after. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We'll see what this time warp brings us. But I am excited to hear. She also has something to promote, but obviously she didn't tell me because she wants to wait till after. But so I'll reach back out to her if I remember. But yeah, we'll see. She seemed very nice though, so I'm excited to hear from her if we do.
Perfect. Awesome.
Anna's making corn husk dolls, but they look very creepy and weird, so she puts them in the fire.
Yeah. I really vibe with Anne here. Like, I am so bad at art.
Oh, interesting. I don't even know what I would do for now that you say that, I don't know what I would do for like my loosely structured craft time. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll have to think about it. I would I guess it depends on like what I was given, because like the Stein wasn't her idea. Like, there had to be a Stein in the cabin.
The free options. Yes. I don't know.
Now that's gonna drive me crazy. Maybe I would make like jewelry if there were like beads or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or we did. No, that wasn't in Girl Scouts. Oh, maybe it was. Shoot, where did I do this? I made a quilt one time, and I really, really enjoyed that. I don't know if that was in Girl Scouts or home ec, or it might have been in Girl Scouts. I don't know, but I loved it. It was great. And there was like sewing machines and stuff. And maybe that was like, again, maybe that was a little bit of like the gendered activities, whatever, but I still loved it. And it made for like great presents too. And so I could go to like Joann's and get all like the quilt stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it.
Quilts are cool.
Anyhow. All right, so, everyone likes April's violent drawing on her arm. Oh my God, it's so funny. Which totally goes with like that mouse skull thing. I think it's really cool.
She's so much.
Yes.
She shouldn't be around children.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. What?
She shouldn't be around children.
Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, luckily, like, it wasn't an internet picture, and you could only imagine so much with what she did on her arm. But yeah, I'm sure she would have shown them a crazy picture if she could.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we have DJ Blunts. We see DJ Blunts for the first time.
Yes.
So exciting.
And any other moment, I would be like, Tom, this is too much. What are you doing? But it's Treat Yourself Day. I am here for it.
Totally. And you could totally see him doing this for an Entertainment 720 thing, but I love that it's for Treat Yourself.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Love it.
This is DJ Blunt's first appearance, but he later returns in End of the World and Save JJ's. I just love the idea of having someone follow you around to introduce you, especially if it's like your birthday or a wedding or, like one of those big events,
Yeah, love it.
And I also love that he's dancing in the background while Tom is talking to Donna. Like, he's just vibing.
He's in it. Yeah, he's in character the entire time.
Totally. DJ Blunt's is played by Adrian Ziegler or Ziegler. I can't I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. But Adrian actually did message me back. He didn't send me, he said he wasn't able to guest on the podcast because he has a lot going on, which is wonderful. He's filming and directing an independent film this summer, along with some other projects, he says. But I was like, yeah, but like, can you tell me some information about your time on set? But he said, I'll just read his email. He said, and I wished him luck and everything. So he said, thank you for the kind words. I don't have much to share about auditioning for parks. It's the normal audition process actors go through. Nothing special to share. But I was still curious. I still messaged him back. He hasn't messaged me back yet. He might just be like over me messaging. But I was like, yeah, but like, what was your audition? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I can't imagine there were any lines, or maybe there were. Like, that's what I was curious about. We'll see if he gets back to me, but that's okay. But he said, I will share, it was great working with Aziz Ansari and Retta. They were kind, professional, and friendly. They're naturally funny, charismatic, and they have personality. And I was like, oh my God, that's so great to hear.
Love it. They do.
I loved hearing that it was like really fun to work with them.
Yes. Yeah. Because that's, I feel like when we have Tom and Donna moments, we don't have a lot of additional people, like guests, that get that interaction.
Yeah.
So
that was really cool. Also, love these nicknames, Donatella and T-Mobile.
Yes. So good.
And they're singing, oh my God, Treat Yourself 2011. Also, I didn't bring this up, by bringing up, I mean like on Peacock, but can we please just like listen to them talk about what exactly Treat Yourself does?
Yes.
Like what time, or not what time, but like what exactly they treat themselves to.
Yes, because I wrote it down, but it's just so much better when they do it.
That's how I was thinking. I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. I'm going to have to watch an ad. I should have had it pulled up. It's so stupid. I don't have the paid Peacock. Or, I mean, I do, but... Oh, wait. Maybe I don't. Hold on. Wait for it. Okay, here we go.
Treat Yourself 2011. Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to?
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
It's the best day of the year.
The best day of the year.
The best!
I love it. I wanted to ask you what your Treat Yourself day would have.
Oh my God. Great question. Well, I mean, I was going to bring this up kind of. Sean and I did that Treat Yourself Day like 2 years ago.
I saw that, yeah.
Oh my God. It was the best. And it was like totally not planned. Every time we've like planned another Treat Yourself Day, it hasn't been as good, if I'm being completely honest. Except for we did go to the Rainforest Cafe with my mom, and that was actually really cool. But we went to rooftop bars. We got pizza, drinks. I had a leather-looking purse, so I was like, fine leather goods. But if I had to like create my own, I think a spa would definitely be involved, just like theirs. I really do want to get acupuncture one day. I haven't done that yet.
That scares me.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard one of the reasons that I also want to try it is because of it, like so many benefits, but I've been having a lot of GI issues. I don't remember if I told you this or not, but I've been having a lot of GI issues, and Donna is right when she says that, or at least research shows, when she says like needles in your face, pleasure in your base, it's supposed to help you have like good bowel movements. Yeah. So I kind of want to try it for that reason as well. But yeah, I think a spa would be in there, some type of like beach, lake, water moment, depending on the time of year. And then tropical drinks and some kind of like sweet treat, probably maybe like a fancy cupcake, which is another thing. This is random, but like with my GI issues, I haven't been doing a lot of sugar. And now that I'm not doing a lot of sugar, like added sugar anyway, random stuff does not taste as good. And it's so sad. Like I saw a cookie at work the other day and I was like, I've been really like decent. I think I could handle one today. And it was like cardboard. I was like, this is not as delicious and wonderful as I want it to be. And you know what I mean? Like once you cut out something, it's like, if I'm going to have it, I want it to be fucking amazing. I want like the best of the best.
That's legit. Because when I did, right before our wedding, my mom for 30 to 60 days, I don't remember how long, she went no sugar. And I did it with her for 7 days. And I was like, this isn't healthy for me. Like just, you know, because past stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to cut sugar completely out because when I bring it back, it's going to be real
Oh, I see
unhealthy.
what you're saying. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I'm going to have, like, I will let myself have sugar. I'm just going to kind of cut back. And
Yeah.
I really did. And I really, really did. And you're right. Because then when I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll just have this cookie that's probably a grocery store cookie. Like, it does not taste. You're like, no, my standards are high now.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be a good ass cookie from a good bakery.
100%. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. And it's like so sad, but also like kind of
It helps.
enlightening at the same
Mhm.
time, where I'm just like, oh, this shit isn't actually great. My body just like is expecting it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that would be in a treat yourself day. I don't know what exactly. Like lately I've been really craving like a really like warm, beautiful, like lava cake brownie, something really chocolatey.
Ooh.
Sounds so good to me right now. Or like some kind of
Mhm.
cheesecake peanut butter thing. I don't know. So that would be also on my treat yourself day. And then I feel like I don't know. I feel like I would also have some type of like travel involved. I don't know how that would work, but and then maybe
Hey,
some
they
kind
do
of
it
theater
later.
moment. What's that?
They do it later. They go to Beverly Hills
That's
for the day.
true. Yeah, I mean that's true. And that's kind of what we did that for I don't know. I will say, and like shouts to Sean, because we talked about it afterwards. Like we did a treat yourself day and we invited other people, and like no shade, but also like 5% shade wasn't as fun. I feel like it just had to be, it was like a me and him thing, or
Mhm.
like a me and you thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't
It's
know.
a one-on-one.
It was
Yeah.
so wild. I don't like, it was wild. We talked about it like a couple weeks after, and I was like, I think we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because we like to make the videos and we like to like dick around, and like not that we didn't do that with them, but it just wasn't the same. And so
You have too many voices too.
maybe, I don't know. I mean, the crowd was great, or the company was great, but it was something that it was just a separate thing. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
fun, but it was not treat yourself. It was treat yourself in the sense where we picked an expensive ass place like they do, where we were like, this is a fancy like famous chef situation, but which like was great. Everything, the food, drinks, whatever was wonderful. But yeah, so like we learned our lesson. But anyhow, what about you?
I would definitely have a massage on there. I think I would have like the morning be like a pampering time where I get my nails done and
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
get my hair done and a massage. I know that there's so many like positive things from acupuncture but like that, it's the needles scare me.
Yeah,
So I
no,
wouldn't be
hear
able
you.
to do that. But it's yeah, I would definitely do that. And then I would definitely do like, okay, we're gonna go eat really fancy food and drink really good drinks and get really fancy dessert. And maybe do like some sort of like live music thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think when I think about where I want to spend my money, when we travel, we do this too. It's like, it's always on the food
Totally.
and drinks, you know?
Yes. I know.
So
Totally get it. Love
Yeah.
that. Oh my God. Yes. The best.
I can't wait to be able to drink cocktails again.
Ugh.
I'm so excited.
I know. I'm excited for you. Have you tried though? Well, I guess you can't have caffeine technically, but I'm sure it's not that bad. I was going to say, these like, or maybe I've talked to you about these energy drinks that are kind of like, not Monster, that kind of stuff, but like, they're kind of equivalent to Celsius. They're called Alani Nu.
I haven't heard of those.
I love them. They are better than Celsius, and I am a Celsius stan, or I was before them. But their like flavor is so good. I think it has 200 milligrams of caffeine, which
Okay.
is probably, I think it's less than coffee, but it's still like, if you're watching caffeine, it might not be great. But
Yeah.
but yeah. Also, I saw that Simply. I don't know if you've been watching Hulu, the commercials on Hulu. This I think it's called Simply. It's like a juice that is they've made a mixology line essentially, where like
Okay.
you could add it to a cocktail if you wanted to, but it's a mocktail essentially. And I was like, I wonder if that's good.
Yeah.
Probably a
My
lot of
big-
sugar, but
Yeah. My big thing with mocktails, is literally that, is I feel like I'm just drinking sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm like, nah, I'd rather not.
yeah, I know.
So
One day.
one day.
Okay.
Close.
Well, the best day of the year. Love that. If you guys have treat yourself ideas or whatever your treat yourself day is, please let us know.
Yes. Or tag us. If you go on a
Yeah.
treat yourself day and make a video, tag
Oh my
us.
God, would love that.
Yes.
Okay, so Donna says that she wants to invite Ben, but Tom is like, no. I love this line so much. He can't slow down enough to keep up with us.
That's
Love
such a
that.
good line. I have that
Perfect.
written too. Yeah, that's so well put.
Yes.
And I love this side of Donna. Like, it comes out later too with the whole Jerry thing, right? Like, she gets to go to the Christmas party because she's apologized to him, you know? So
Yeah.
even though she seems like she could kind of be self-centered, some of the stuff she says is very Donna focused. She still has a heart and she's still thinking of other people. Like, that's very clear.
Totally. She definitely carries both sides. Like, the superficial, like, need things, kind of like, what's that word? Materialistic. But so thoughtful.
Yeah, so thoughtful. Yeah, because she doesn't even know what's going on with Ben. She's just like, he's off.
She knows
like,
something's wrong.
Yeah.
I love that, though, what Ben does, which we'll get to.
Yes.
All right, well, now we're back at the campsite, and the goddesses are eating homemade bulgogi, which sounds delish. But I do think it is unnecessary, but obviously, totally for Leslie, this makes sense. I think it's unnecessary that they need to eat together, the Rangers and the goddesses. Like,
yeah, I thought that was unnecessary as well. I was like, why are they doing this?
Yeah,
This
like,
doesn't
you
seem
have a
like they need to
cabin,
do
you
this.
could be eating in there. I'm sure that's where it was cooked. But the Rangers are eating lukewarm beans from a can. But
So sad.
I mean, it's funny that they're eating from right across from each other to obviously see the comparison. But I was like, Leslie, come on.
Rude. I did see in research that bulgogi is it's a Korean dish, and it's like thin. It's typically
you never
thin
had it?
meat. No, I've never had it.
Oh my God. Okay, explain what it is, and then I'll tell you how great it is.
Okay. It's like a thin meat dish. But there was a catch that, like, there's only noodles in the bowl that what we see. We don't see any meat.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was just like it didn't make sense to also cook meat and nobody was going to fact check it because they didn't think there'd be podcasts about it later.
That's true. Maybe. That's true. I didn't even catch that it was just noodles that they were pulling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any Korean or like Asian restaurants or whatever, it's so good. It's really I wish I could. It's just rich. I was gonna say, like, I wish I could like explain the flavor a little bit more. But it's really good. And it's also tough to make. At least I thought it was tough to make. It looks like it would be tough to make. So most Asian dishes are. However, I started like those kinds of ones. But I did start following this woman on TikTok, and she is Asian, and she makes a lot of like sesame chicken, orange chicken. And I was like, once you get the sauces down, like the mixture of soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, if you want that, like once you get the mixture of those down, like you can kind of put it on anything, like chicken, shrimp, rice, whatever,
Oh, yeah. It could be anything.
and it's delicious.
Very easy. Yeah.
But Leslie is going over their itinerary for the day. They're doing hiking, capture the flag, a puppet show for the Bill of Rights, set to party in the USAA, lasso training, and a s'mores off. That sounds like a great day. That sounds like a treat
great
yourself day almost for them.
Yeah. It really does.
Ron's activity is not to die.
Not getting killed. Yeah. Not
Right.
getting killed. Yeah. It's just so opposite, and they do a good job of like emulating that it's like they're doing nothing. Like Ron's group is doing nothing, and Leslie's group is like packing the day full of stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you really see their different goals, I think. Like Ron's literal goal, from what he says, is surviving. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would love to see him on that one. What's that one show? Naked and Alone, or Alone, whatever
Naked
the
and
hell.
Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Survivor.
Yeah, or Survivor. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back at the office if you are.
Yes.
Okay. So Chris walks in and cuts Jerry off of like, talking to him,
His
and
story. Yep.
basically tells him to go home, and talks about those lab rats who don't get enough rest getting tumors all over their body, because that's why he's telling him to go home and rest. I did not look this up because I was not going to look
No.
at that. No.
I don't need to see that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But Jerry says that he's going to go have lunch with his daughter and invites Chris, and Chris blows him off because it kind of shows how shallow he is, but whatever.
Yes, this really does.
Yeah. Especially later when you see Millie and he's like, I retract my statement.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you're like,
definitely
okay,
coming to
Chris.
lunch with you. I didn't know your daughter looked like that.
Right, exactly.
Rude.
I know. Okay, so now, oh my God, this moment we see Ben eating soup on a bench alone. He's so
sad.
pitiful. Like, especially with the way he's slumped over, like, in the middle of the parking lot or whatever. Oh my God.
Yeah. And soup.
Soup!
Yeah. Honey.
Oh my God. And Donna just litters and there's, like, no soup in the bins, which is
Yes.
hilarious.
Yeah. No explanation. Like, that's how
Right.
weak he is in this moment, right? Like, because Ben is not I'm not going to go do something I don't want to do type of person typically, but he's literally dragged into this car and with no fight left. He's got no fight left.
He's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yep. The goddesses are now having a pillow fight. Love this. Also love all these awards that she's passing out, which is really cute. So I think that she just really likes this positive affirmation like moment. So she's making up her own awards, which is super cute.
Yes. As someone who has worked with kids literally her entire life until like 3 months ago, there's no way there's not a fight happening.
I know, that's interesting, huh?
Like a legit fight. Yeah.
Well,
And
once
I
they
think
once they all start talking, I feel like they are all so mature. Like,
yeah, this is not how 11, 12-year-olds typically talk.
yeah.
Unless you picked out the, top maturity level of like,
Yeah.
and that's, you don't get to hand choose who's in this group, right?
Right.
So it's like,
She's
I
trained
do
them.
love it. I do love it because when they do start talking, she's learning from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's really cool. But yeah, I was literally sitting there. I was like, okay, someone at this point has hit someone else in the boob and they took it personally and they've started actually hitting each other. Like, that's what would have
I
happened
know.
in real life.
I was totally living in the fantasy. I was like, look at them. They're being
I
so
know.
wonderful.
Well, it's wonderful to live in the fantasy. And if we live in the fantasy, we really see the juxtaposition between the two
True.
groups. So
True.
it has a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Well, this Pawnee Ranger knocks on the door and says that he now wants to be a goddess because he doesn't like the Rangers anymore, which is shocking. And just a brief moment, Darren, the Pawnee Ranger, is really successful now as an actor. His name is Jacob Bertrand. He's in Cobra Kai, and he has this like wild mohawk in it. I actually haven't watched all of it. Have you watched it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes. It's not terrible, but it wasn't like I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But he's also in Ready Player One. He directed a short film that he wrote and starred in. He also has a podcast. So good job, Jacob.
Yeah. Keep him busy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ron and Leslie are now talking to Darren, kind of like in front of everyone, which to me was kind of embarrassing. But
That could have been done better.
yeah. But he does have a point when he says all we do is sit and eat beans.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And that's what I meant in the summary of Ron having a hard time, because I think his intentions are true, like just survive, but you have to pick out the things that you need to be able to do to survive, and then you have to have activities around those. Like, you're not going to hold anybody's attention. Even adults, our attention span is 7 minutes, and then we have to you're not going to hold a kid's attention if they just have to sit there and not die.
Yeah.
Right.
Which again, we get to it, but when he says he doesn't understand kids these days, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He
Which
doesn't know
is
how to
true.
structure things around them.
There is, I mean, you think about him, he grew up in a very, very small town, right? His mom didn't seem like she was super hands-on. He kept himself busy.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know?
he
So
really did survive.
He did. Yeah. So,
So.
He's coming from a different, headspace for sure.
Yeah. Well, now we're back at Treat Yourself Day, and Ben just doesn't get it. He keeps saying, so all you do is go to the spa and the mall, like what? And I'm just like, Ben, stop it. But at the same time, he doesn't know how to relax, which I think is really interesting because I definitely run into that quite a lot, However, I don't know. I feel like I'm better at it if I have a spa day or something. But if I'm just sitting at home and I don't have anything to do, I do get a little restless and I have to force myself. It's kind of like what CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, where you have to kind of break your brain and do the opposite of what your brain is telling you is bad or good or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so you definitely have to be like, I'm just going to sit here and not do anything and relax.
And that's okay. Yeah.
Because that's productive.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other part of it for me too is I get, because Ben is a pretty frugal person.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really hard time letting myself make appointments to do things for myself because I know what it's going to cost.
Oh, I see.
And so, like, I wonder if he's also like, so you guys just come and do this and you just spend all this money, and especially when he's watching them try on all the clothes.
Yeah, the
he's
clothes
like,
part
this is
definitely.
fucking
I could see him
ridiculous.
thinking that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I can relate to him on that. And then the same thing, like you're saying, like I struggle with the relaxation stuff. I've gotten much better at it like the last couple months, but there's a period of time where it was like I can't be doing anything where my brain isn't focused on something, because then my brain spirals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I
then-
think that he also has some serious anxiety, whether he wants to admit it or not. And so relaxing / not accomplishing something for him and just sitting still, letting yourself be pampered is not, nice and relaxing for him, which I think is great, where Tom kind of tries to like help him by like saying things that he might
Yeah.
enjoy, like
Yeah.
whatever he says, like trigonometry, stamps, probably more of a rare coins guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's also part of it that's probably like when he's not thinking about work or something else, he's thinking about Leslie.
Yeah,
And
that's true too.
It sucks to be thinking about that when you can't have her, but it didn't end on a bad note. I feel like things are easier when you end on a bad note, because then it's like
A clean break almost.
yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
we definitely shouldn't be together. But when it's like we really want to be together but can't, it's like it
Right.
makes it worse.
Yeah.
I do.
I
love
wanted
Tom
to tell
here.
you also. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do love Tom here. I think we're seeing the friend in Tom come out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's on board here. He's like, I see that Ben needs someone, and I'm not gonna make fun of. I'm gonna make fun of him a little bit, but it's gonna be because I care about him, not because I want to make him feel bad.
Yeah, he's trying to help
Yeah.
in some way,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tell you in the deleted scenes, Tom asks how Donna's massage went, and she said it had a happy ending. What?
What?
I know. This does not seem like the kind of place that does that, but that's what she says.
Yikes.
Anyhow,
All right.
crazy.
Well.
So, yeah, wanted to tell you that. Okay, now we're meeting Millicent, if you are.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're meeting Jerry's family for the first time.
Yeah. So
We haven't
lovely.
met anyone.
I know, we haven't met anyone, and we haven't really seen who he surrounds himself with, like as far as family and friends, even like outside of the office. But yeah, Millicent is Jerry's daughter. She is played by Sarah Wright. She's also a singer. I found she began her career with the Kentucky Ambassadors of Music. She traveled all over Europe with them, which was really interesting.
Very cool.
She's been in like a bunch of shows. Like she's guested
Yeah.
and co-starred a lot. Mad Love, How I Met Your Mother, Home Economics. She also has a podcast called The Mother Daze, Daze. You might be interested because she talks about being a mom.
Yeah.
But she's been in a bunch of stuff, and we'll see her more as Chris continues to date her. Also, oh my gosh, I saw this picture on IMDb where she's like hugging Tom Cruise, and I was like, what is happening? But she was in this movie apparently called American Made with him that I never
Okay.
saw, but they were like together in that movie, and I was like, oh, okay.
Very cool. Yeah, I've seen her in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I probably couldn't pick anything out, but I know I've seen her before
Yeah.
and after.
Totally. This was also a trivia question. This was one of the ones I got wrong. I called her something else. They asked what her name was, and I said Mildred and not
yeah.
Millicent.
Yeah.
But close.
If you had said Millie, they might have given it to you.
I know. Oh well. I also saw in my research that Chris says he's much younger than Jerry. He's like, I'm your father's boss and much younger, whatever. But he's really only 2 years younger in real
Yeah.
life, which is so
I
crazy.
saw that too. Yeah.
Wild.
It's crazy.
And
He
like,
aged
we
very nicely.
Yes, exactly. But this also shows, again, like we talked about, how shallow Chris is after seeing how beautiful Millicent is.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, I think it also shows how much he doesn't like Jerry.
Why? I still want to know why people don't like Jerry. He's such a nice person.
I mean, I guess we haven't worked with him as long as they have. If he does split his pants literally all the time, then maybe that would not be a like great lunch if you had anything else to choose. I don't know. I don't think that it was necessary for Chris to be as like blocking. Like I felt like he really shut him down and was like, "Nope, I don't want
Yeah.
to. Bye."
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. It was
Okay.
a little off par of how kind of a person Chris typically is to me.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with Jerry, he doesn't do that. He changes his whole attitude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back with the goddesses, and they're kind of schooling Leslie on her own ideas. Like, she is being, she's like kind of being confronted about her ideas with this. Like, they're like, why, like, didn't what you just said have the same vibes as what the Pawnee Ranger said to that 5th grader? And that's the gal who says that is named Abigail in the show, but her real name is Annalise Nicole Basso. She's an actress and a model. She's been a New Girl for an episode, which I did not know. I don't remember that.
She's Russell's daughter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like remember Jess babysits her, and she comes out with all of Jess's bras on.
That's awesome.
That's her. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She's also been in Captain Fantastic, a lot of movies. Looks like a lot of thrillers and horror kind of movies, so that would be interesting to see. But she's beautiful and really great. So she did a great job. I loved. That's what I mean by, like, once you hear them all speak, especially even at the public forum later, like, they're all so mature, and I love that line of, like, Leslie says that she trained them well or taught them well, like made them Leslie monsters.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't think we quoted this earlier, that Leslie told Darren that he couldn't join because he wasn't a girl.
Right.
And I obviously I agree with the girls, right? Like, we're doing the exact same thing. Did you see Barbie?
Yeah.
Okay. I had the same fucking pet peeve with the last scene of Barbie. Because one of the Kens asks to be part of the cabinet. And the president says no.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and that was my big thing, because it's like, we just had this whole movie about how men and women, like, were trying to be equal, right? And you just did the same. But at the same time, I could see it being like, well, now you understand what it was like for us, because all of a sudden it was like, yes, we're going to start treating women more equal, and it's like, oh, but yeah, we're not there yet. You can't do that yet.
For me, I was like, they do it better, so no, you can't be on this Congress because you didn't do it. You failed so monumentally, and the women are doing it right, so you aren't qualified, and we are. That's how I took it.
That's so funny.
But
yeah, so that's how I felt here. Is like, I got the same vibe that I felt when I saw that in Barbie. Was like, you know, we are trying to create a space where this is not okay for anybody to be excluded. And I thought the girls to speak up to your, like, troop leader like that too was super badass. Yeah. So I'm glad they brought it up.
Well, I feel like Barbie had its own, like, agenda that it wanted to, or not agenda, but its own kind of, like, vision. Whereas here, I feel like Leslie says this line of, we just struck a huge blow for equality. And it shows completely that Leslie has the wrong idea of equality.
Yeah, you're right.
And also how feminism is such a nasty word for so many people, because, and I remember Dolly Parton even saying this. She's come around, but, like, I remember her being interviewed, and the interviewer was saying, like, are you a feminist? And Dolly was like, no, I love men. That's not the question.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
The question is, do you believe that men and women deserve to be equal? And have equity from where we started, and you know what I mean? And so when Leslie says
the bad rap it's gotten, feminism has gotten, is that you are pro-female, anti-man. And that's not what it is.
That's not what it is at all. Yeah. And there are women like that, of course. There are always going to be the extremists on either side. But what Leslie says is the opposite of equality. And, you know, when she says that, because it's really about working together, being equal, having the same opportunities. But also, Leslie is extremist in this sense right now anyway, where she is so hell-bent on having her group be the best. And that's kind of where she starts this. But I also love that it's a discussion. She changes it. She's like, okay, I get it. Like, we need to talk about this. And so Lauren wants to do a public forum. And Leslie's, like, really proud, but a little annoyed. But mostly proud. But annoying too.
70-30.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's so layered and interesting because it's a much huger conversation than we could, do right now. But I think that was one of the biggest parts of Barbie too. And one of my favorite lines was that when Ken says, once I learned that the patriarchy wasn't about horses, I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
I find that so not relatable to me, but relatable in the society that we're living in now, where I feel like so many people, especially men, are just on this side because they said they started on this side and they have to be in a community and they have to be on this side because they said they were, even though they don't really know what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was really interesting. But especially here for Leslie, I just love seeing her learn from everyone and learn and grow and change and have these open ideas. And even if Leslie can be thwarted by or confused by equality and feminism and can learn from it, so can we all.
Right. And I think it's great too, because so many times have I said, if we could just have people in our government that are like Leslie, who have that passion and they're there for the right reasons, right? So I think there's this happiness my brain, I will tell you, pregnancy brain is so fucking real. It's ridiculous. There's this Leslie happy go positive smile around her all the time, that she's just this great government employee, that we're getting to see this point where, hey, she does still have room to grow, which I think is really great for her character development too.
And we've seen this before in episodes before, where she struggles and she has to question what she believes and learns and grows. So I think that this is just a good addition. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, love that. So now we're back at Treat Yourself Day, and Ben is freaking out about the acupuncture. This is what we were talking about before. And when I was watching this, I was like, Ben, calm the fuck down, bro.
Yeah.
Take a deep
She's
breath.
gonna stick you in the eye.
I know.
You're shaking so much.
Oh my God. Then we go to Chris and Millicent, if you're there.
Yes.
Or the lunch with Jerry as well. Also, they say, so they're really hitting it off. They have everything in common, biking for charity, running for charity, all these things. My first thought, and maybe, not that I'm an expert, but being the same person as your partner is not a good thing.
That I literally have that written down. Same person is never good.
Common interest, maybe, but when Millicent says we are literally the same person, I was like, no.
Yeah, there's just no room for growth, I feel like.
Or conversations. What are you going to talk about if you just agree on everything?
Yeah.
But some
It's
people,
gotta get
maybe
boring.
it works for some people. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't
Anyway.
know. It's not going to work for them.
Yes. Foreshadowing.
Red flag.
Red flag.
I mean, not a red flag, a spoiler.
Yeah, but it is a red flag too.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're at the public forum. Ron is so over this. I love that the camera catches his face of just, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't want to do it when he's at work. This is supposed to be an enjoyable thing for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Love this idea that one of them says, I can't remember who says it, but the separate but equal is never really equal, brings that in. And then Casey says, well, I disagree. I think there's a benefit to educating the genders separately. Great work, I feel, on that writing there. I think that's wonderful. Casey is played by Kayla. Yeah. Casey's played by Kayla Simpkins, and IMDb, this was her last acting gig, so I'm not sure if she's still doing acting, but she did great. Like I said, all these young girls were such great actors. They were so mature. They really, delivered their lines so wonderfully.
Yeah, agreed.
I also love the contradiction, or not contradiction, maybe it is, but I love the contrast is what I really mean to say, of the Pawnee Rangers in the public forum and the goddesses. The goddesses are coming up with these beautiful, intellectual, well thought out ideas and thoughts, and Darren's just like, I want the candy.
I want the candy that you have.
Which I think horses, is like Ken said.
I want the horse.
Oh my God. Anyway, I just thought that was
out.
so well done.
But I think it also is a reflection on how the groups are run, because Leslie, she's obviously having these deep conversations with them. She's obviously teaching them what it means to be a strong woman. And Ron's sitting there in silence eating beans.
Yeah.
That's so true. All they're thinking about is candy. They've only had beans from can. And they're not going to be bringing all these ideas forward, right?
Yeah.
So.
There's a deleted scene where they take a vote, and it's pretty unanimous,
Mm-hmm.
and Leslie says, okay, join the goddesses in 15 minutes for, like, to be, into the group. And she says that there's a hot cocoa tasting contest, and she uses 3 kinds of marshmallows and 4 kinds of whipped cream. And I was like, oh my God, that is so funny. I don't even know what 3 kinds of marshmallows there are.
And 4 kinds of whipped creams. They've just got to be different flavors, right?
Or, like, the different brands, I feel, are different.
Oh, could be.
Or
yeah,
she could
yeah.
use, like, I went too deep with this thinking about it, but she could use, like, the Ready Whip, like, in the tub, and then the spray.
Very
and
different.
then there's also now all these dairy-free kinds. Like, well, they didn't have that back then, but yeah, like, back then, I don't know what she would, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Okay, so now we are back at the mall, and I did look up that this plaza at Eagleton is the Westfield Topanga Mall, which is about 40 minutes away from LA. This will definitely be a stop when I visit LA because I want to go see that. They did a great job also. I don't know if you noticed in the back, they hung up a little sign or a big sign from the ceiling that says Plaza at Eagleton.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks great. And also, if you're not familiar with Topanga, like I said, it is about 40 minutes outside of LA, but it's very close to Calabasas, which is where the Kardashians live, if that gives you any idea as to the vibes that are going on.
The vibes, yes. Of course.
I'm
with
that
Ben
crystal
here.
beetle is so cute too.
It is. But
What were
I'm
you
with
gonna say?
Ben.
Sorry.
I'm with Ben. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, the
this
clothes
isn't
thing
what I'm
is
gonna.
crazy.
Yeah, this isn't what I'm gonna spend money on. Like, it's crazy to me that, like, pants have gotten to be like $40. I'm like, do I have to?
I know. Well, and I think that's a great point, which we'll get to later. But that's a great point that our one person's treat yourself day is not the same as the other person's.
Right.
So this is theirs, and this is what they are spending their money on. Also, there's a deleted scene. It's so funny. Tom tries on one of the boots that Donna was trying on, and he, like, stands up on top of, like, one of the display things and is, like, dancing around. And Donna was like, no, do not treat yourself. Because it didn't look good. I thought that was so funny. He was like, yeah, they don't work. And I just thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
Okay, now I'm at where Chris is asking Jerry to ask out Millicent.
Yes.
And
which is excessive.
why did he tell Jerry that he already passed the kale salad that he had?
So much information.
Chris is, like, so annoying to me in this episode. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, I agree with you, though. There's a very fine line for me for the Chris that I like and the Chris that annoys the shit out of me.
Oh, interesting.
And this is very much one of those, because even though I want to believe it's genuine, like, a lot of the times when he's so nice and positive, I'm like,
too much.
It comes off as fake.
Fake. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, for me, I think it's genuine. It's just too much. Like, I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I love
Yeah.
Jerry's response. I love how sweet he is. He's like, she's a grown woman. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want to. You know what I mean?
Best dad. That is 100% as a dad. When she's got to be what, like, probably 25, 26.
Yeah.
Would be my assumption. Like, that is the right answer.
Yeah.
Like, if he has to throw in there take care, like, be
Sure.
careful, because if you hurt her, like, I'll be on you. But, like, yeah, she's a grown woman.
Yeah.
I'd be so embarrassed if my dad was like, well, no, you can't date her, when I was, like, in my 20s.
Right.
You know?
And like I said, I think it's genuine. Like, I can see on Chris's side, like, I can see that's nice. That's nice that you're asking her, Dad, I guess. Like, that is nice. I see what you're saying, but also, like, okay. Like, come on.
Well, he just continues to give too much information.
Yes. Oh, my God. Ugh.
So, yeah. It's not ideal.
So now we're at the puppy party, which is so cute.
Yes, I
Ron
love
sees
the
this
puppy
so
party.
differently. Like, he is not happy, and everyone else is so excited. Oh my God.
Yes, I know. And Andy I think he takes 2 puppies.
I know. He takes so many.
He just, yeah.
The gal who
It's
is
so
carrying
funny.
the puppies is literally casted as Puppy Lady. Like, that's her character name, which I think is so hilarious and lovely.
Love it.
She is played by Penny Moore, and she was in Young Sheldon, Justified, has been crew on a lot of productions as well. She was also in the movie Frost Nixon, and it's actually really funny because there's a picture of her on IMDb in that movie, Frost Nixon, and she's holding a little dog. And I was like, oh my God, she's just typecast as the lady with dogs.
Yeah. That works. Not a bad job to have.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
for it.
All right. Well, now we're back at the mall, and Tom is like, "What did you even get yourself?" And Ben says he got plain white socks.
No. And I love that they call him out on it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, wait. We just did stuff that makes us happy, but that's probably not your vibe. So what is something you want
Donna
to
in
splurge on?
particular.
Yes, Donna in particular.
Which she thinks outside of the box. I don't think Tom would have gotten there. Donna was like, "Oh wait,
Yeah.
maybe this is we need to like personalize this a little bit."
Mhm.
I love though how Tom comes around where he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is a whole new level of nerd," and Ben
Yes.
thinks it's in a bad way, and Tom's like, "No,
No.
if that makes you happy, you're gonna get it." And I've had
Yeah.
to tell myself that sometimes, just like we were talking about with the budgeting and stuff. I've
Mhm.
really had to, and I've gotten better at it, especially because like a lot of times I used to do that and still do sometimes with things that I actually needed, where I would be like,
Yeah.
why am I going to get this? This is whatever. And my mom, a lot of the times, was just like, but don't you actually like need that? Like, I don't know if you have any pants. Like, do you even have any pants?
Yeah.
Or do you like whatever? So I think it's really interesting that. And I remember very clearly I spent so much money, well, at the time it was so much money, on a guitar, my Taylor guitar that I bought in
Mhm.
LA, and I put it on a credit card, a Guitar Center credit card, and I remember my roommate, I told my roommate at the time, Nicole, shouts to Nicole, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It was really stupid, but I don't care. I guess I'll try to like play out and just be more musical, whatever. She was like, did it make you happy? Like, if it made you happy, it was a good choice. And I was
Yeah.
like, you're right. And like, and had a Batman moment.
Yes. We all have Batman moments, I feel like.
hmm
Yeah.
Is there something like equivalent of a Batman outfit for you? Like, if Tom were to ask you that question, like if you could blow big money on one thing, like what would it be?
Traveling.
Yeah.
It's always like breaks my heart when the flight goes through to my bank account.
Yeah.
But
It's worth it.
some of my happiest moments are being in new places and traveling, and that's the big. I don't think there's anything like materialistic that I like want
think
to
of.
have. Like
Mhm.
my instruments make me very happy.
Mhm.
But it's like from when I am like in my giddy, oh my gosh, I'm so happy mode. It's like when I get off a plane and I'm like, there's so much possibility because I've never been here before. There's so many things I can try that I've never tried before. And it's, yeah. So that's what I'm always willing to spend big money on. And Ivan and I even talk about it now. We're like, we'd love to be saving for a house, but is that our priority right now? Or do we want to be able to go do some things before the baby gets here?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be able to do it so freely once the baby's here. So it's like, what do we want to do? And it doesn't make sense to buy a house right now. Anyway,
I think that's smart.
the interest rates are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I don't know. Yeah, that's why I asked you, because I'm really not sure. I mean, traveling is a huge thing, obviously. But like, I was trying to think of like in the Batman term where it's like a tangible thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now, I'm really dreading this, but I think I'm going to need a new car within the next like 2 to 3 years. So like, but that seems more like a necessity. I don't know if that's a treat yourself moment. Unless,
no, that's not a treat. Yeah.
obviously I'll
Unless
get like
you
the bells
didn't.
and whistles and stuff, like whatever.
Yeah,
but
if you didn't need a new car and you were just like, you found one that you really, really wanted, that's a treat yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're like, your car's old,
right.
and you've been done paying it for a while,
Mhm.
and so it's like, you know, this is like it's at the end of its life. I'm going to need a new car. You cannot live in Nashville without a car. That's a
Right.
necessity.
Totally. I think right now this isn't tangible, but my biggest treat yourself moment, and it's not really a treat yourself moment, but my biggest thing right now is paying off my student loans. That would make me the happiest I will be in a very long time. And I have been telling so many people, I'm like, when I pay those fucking student loans off, I'm going to have like a wedding party, basically.
Love it.
Like, it won't be as expensive as a wedding, obviously, because I just paid off my student loans and we can't do that. But there will be dance parties. There will be like frozen yogurt. There will be tacos. There will just be like so many great things. So yeah, that's what I can think of right now. But if it was, I don't know. I feel like my mind for material things, my mind keeps going to like, I would love a new mic so that I could have like guests come in and like do a podcast or, what else was I going to say? Oh, like an iPad. I would like an iPad. Like stupid stuff, I feel like. I
Yeah.
don't know if it would really be Or like new pots and pans. That sounds great.
That could also be a necessity though too. It
That's
depends on
true.
how old your pots and pans are.
That's
Because
really
I did
real.
the same thing. Like my mom got to the point where I just went outside one day and Amazon had delivered new pots and pans because I refused to spend money on it. And
Yeah.
she was like, "You could get cancer from how long you've been using those pans."
Oh my God. It's crazy.
So yeah.
Anyway, yeah, something to think about for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Maybe if I could hire someone, maybe a boat.
A
I
boat.
could hire someone to like run it and keep up with it and dock it.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
That would be
Good
fun.
stuff. Oh yeah.
Anyway, and a pool for my mom for her backyard.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I could do.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay. Also, did you notice? I don't know. It kind of, when he came out in the Batman outfit, it really reminded me of the outfit montage in Cinderella Story when she's trying to find a Halloween costume.
Yes.
I thought that was so funny.
Yes, that is funny. It makes his face look super swollen.
Totally. I noticed that too. 100%.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if it didn't sound like him when he was talking and look like his facial expressions,
Yeah.
I would think that they put somebody else in there.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I
Yeah.
saw that.
I wonder if it was uncomfortable. I'd love to ask him.
Yeah, that's a great question. We will one day.
Yes.
Let's see. So, there was a deleted scene here. It was really funny. There was a montage of Ben like walking around in the mall in his Batman outfit, like by himself. I don't know why or where Tom and Donna are, but he's in one of those photo booth things that you like have at weddings and stuff where you like go in and shut the curtain, and he's taking pictures of himself like as Batman by himself, and he's like really happy. And then he comes out, gets the photo. There's like a whole line of kids and stuff behind him. He comes out, gets the phone. He's like, nope, I need to do it again, and like cuts in front of them again. Just so funny.
Oh my god.
And then there's like a 10-second deleted scene moment, not really a scene at all, but like of the camera just watching him go down the escalator by himself in his Batman outfit, and it's really funny.
That's so funny. So sad, but funny.
I know, but he's really into it, which is the happy part.
Yes.
Okay, well, now we are inducting our new Pawnee goddesses. This induction speech vow, if you will, is amazing. I love it so much. I am a goddess, a glorious female warrior.
I love the womanly
Queen
roar.
of all that I survey, enemies of fairness and equality, hear my womanly roar. Yes, the womanly roar, especially that Leslie does, is so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love that Andy's joining too.
You could see Chris Pratt kind of breaking, I feel. He was smiling.
Yeah.
Loved it.
This is how I felt though the whole time, is that Andy was always supposed to be part of the goddesses and April was supposed to be the Rangers.
Interesting. I could see that.
Yeah. But because of gender, they are put in the opposite.
It is different.
Yeah.
Poor little Ron is outside all alone at his little fire camp after everybody's having a puppy party, and it's really sad. And Leslie goes and apologizes, and she's saying that she really does respect the Rangers and what Ron does and what he's trying to do. He's a good troop leader. But this is where Ron says he doesn't understand kids these days. And I like how mature he's being as far as like saying that people change, interests change, and I'm not equipped for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Yeah,
good.
times change.
Yeah. And then he finally says her group is better, which is what she wanted all along, but it feels hollow now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It doesn't feel
victorious.
yeah, when the group you're going against has completely disbanded basically.
Yeah. Sad. Well, and also when you kind of broke someone's heart in the process, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That you respect.
yeah, and someone she respects and loves, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're back and at the mall, and Ben is explaining why he's sad to Tom and Donna, because Donna finally asks like, "What's going on?" Tom calls women chickenheads, and that's the first time I've heard that in this episode. Like when I first watched it or whatever, I was like, "What's a chickenhead?" And then later, I heard it like everywhere after that. I was like, "What the f?" So I don't know if that was like a treat yourself moment where like that's one of the first times, or if chickenhead has always been used. I really have no idea, but it's common now. What?
Interesting. Yeah, I've never clocked that.
Yeah, have you heard like people say that though?
No.
Yeah, I've heard
Like calling women chickenheads?
mhm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've heard it, and I'll have to like make note of when I hear it next. I haven't heard it in a while, so I don't know if it was like a 90s or 2000s kind of situation.
What does
but
it mean?
what?
What does it mean?
Oh, it just means like there's more fish in the sea. Chickenheads is just a thing for like chicks. You know what I mean? Like there's more chicks all over the place. Like you can find anybody. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
There's chicken heads all over these place. They're talking about us. We are chicken heads.
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
I don't know why, but that's a thing.
Okay.
But I just love that Ben needed this. Like he needed to talk to somebody because I think you mentioned this maybe either in this one or the one before. He doesn't really have anyone to talk to, you know?
Yeah, you can't bring it up with Chris.
Right. And he doesn't really have any friends here.
And he's being super vague here too, right? He's not even telling them it's Leslie, but he at least can get enough across to them that they're like, that really sucks. You know?
And I also like that they were just there to support him and make him laugh, you know, and not so much asking him like super crazy details kind of thing. So
yeah,
that was
just what he needed because he's not a big Sherry dude anyway. I don't think so. You know, it was perfectly what he needed in support.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so back at the Pawnee Rangers Wilderness Weekend, Anne catches a fish that she bought at the supermarket and put on the fishing pole, which I think,
love it.
Great idea. I did not know that was from I Love Lucy. I think that's wonderful.
I can see it though. I can see it being from
totally. Oh my God. And then Leslie's like trying to include Ron and saying like, we need your help. Like grab a fish by your hand. Like I've seen it. And he packs up and leaves because Chris Pratt, Andy or whatever, like does the speedboat race, which is really fun, but totally interrupts everything.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Some people don't know the etiquette around fishing.
Yeah. And then we're back at Chris and Jerry having that other weird interaction, and I hate this. I want to punch Chris in the face when he says that like she spent the night and the date went well and all this stuff. Like I could understand 5%, maybe even like 15%. That first thing of like, can I ask her out? Blah blah blah. But to like continually follow up.
Oh, it's too much information. So uncomfortable.
Absolutely not.
Hard pass.
No, hate this.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah,
What's
I don't know why he thinks
intention?
it's so necessary. I guess he just wants to keep Jerry in the loop with how things are going so that he knows it's, like, approved by him. But, like, so you needed approval to go on the date, but you didn't need approval to have sex. I don't It's just, what are the rules here?
Yeah. What are Chris's rules? Because,
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
It's not like you're asking to marry her.
Right.
It's different.
Anyway, and even that sometimes I'm like, okay.
To each their own.
Totally.
Honestly. It's not like when you're asking permission now, it's not like, I haven't asked my dad's permission. He asked my dad, my mom, my stepdad, and my brother. And in no circumstance, if they had said no, do I think he would have been like, okay, well then I'm not going to propose.
Right.
You know, it was
like
more of a courtesy and more of a to make sure that like they knew his intentions than your piece of property. I would like it now.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Which is totally where it started.
Which is where it started. Yeah. So it's different now. So people do it, people don't do it, but I don't think any of it has to do with I want your property anymore.
Right, 100%. And Chris is just going over the top. So
yeah, too much.
We don't need it.
No, we don't. No thanks, Chris.
Yes. Well, back at the office, Ron comes in after Wilderness Weekend and sees this like group of misfits in his office, and it is so beautiful, so perfect. What a wonderful ending and a wonderful like solution to this whole situation. Leslie put in an ad in the newspaper for a new club. Boys and girls are welcome together, and it's just like so wonderful. I think Leslie learns a valuable lesson that she really already knew, but she is really illustrating it by putting this into action, and which is the best part anyway. And I just think it's so cute that they're all Swansons.
Yeah, I thought the name was so wonderful. He does have a badass name for that too.
That's true.
Like Swanson is great.
And the rules are great too. The ad itself was really wonderful. Not rules, but the ad itself was really wonderful. Like, you know, of like describing this personality of like, do you march to the beat of your own drum? Did you make the drum yourself?
The drum. Yeah.
It's so lovely.
I loved that. And I think the intention, right? I think the Pawnee Rangers, if we're equalizing it to Boy Scouts, the intention is to learn skills, but to have fun and have fellowship and, you know, and I think Ron was looking more he just wanted some people who wanted to learn the skills he has and he wanted somebody to teach them to. And I think he's a little extreme for Pawnee Rangers.
Yeah.
Like his what he would find enjoyable about it.
Right.
So this is like perfect that he's going
Yeah.
to have his own group.
That's a great point. That it's more so about like his ideas and not necessarily the scouting ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What was I going to say? Oh, I like that Danny Fish, aka Lauren, I think, is in both the Goddesses and the Swansons
Yes.
now. That was really cool to see.
Very cool.
That she, wanted to join this one as well. So that's cool.
Yeah. I love that.
And I just think it's so perfect. I know I already said this, but I can't reiterate it enough. I think it's wonderful as far as like creating a new solution, because it maybe the box that you've put yourself in, boys and girls clubs or whatever, doesn't work anymore. So creating a new one, which Leslie is so good at doing, like coming up with an idea to like, think outside the box, is like so great.
Yeah. That's inclusive.
So anyway, this tag is so wonderful. I think about it so many times. I actually had to unplug my router recently, and I totally thought of Ben doing it in his Batman
Yes.
outfit. Have you, like, I almost forgot that they were all living together because I feel like we haven't really seen it in a while.
Yeah.
So I just think it's funny that he was wearing it. And then when he turns the corner, he's like flipping his cape.
Flips the cape.
I think
So
it's
good.
great.
Oh, I love it.
There is a deleted scene that might have been the tag that they were going to use because it doesn't really seem to fit anywhere else. But Ben kind of apologizes to Tom and Donna for getting like weird or whatever. And Tom and Donna are like, no, like we're your friends. That's what you're supposed to do. Like you don't have to apologize for like sharing or whatever. And Tom kind of makes it like fun in his Batman voice. Like Tom has a Batman voice, doing kind of what you were talking about before, where he's like making fun, but like also kind of making you laugh at the same time. And Ben's like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And then Tom just keeps egging him on, and Ben like exits the door, and he says in his Batman voice like, Gotham needs me. And I thought it was so funny. I was like, yay, Ben is like trying.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's giving him hope, right? Like he's talking about there's no reason for me to be here. And I think having people watching out for him is like, okay, wait, I do have people here. I may have stayed for Leslie.
Yeah.
But she's not the only lifeline I have here.
Right.
Like I have a community that I've built.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's really important. So, the last thing that I have is another webisode that I was just going to explain to you. The webisodes that we have been going over, there was only one webisode on the DVD extras for the Grand Canyon where Andy and April go. They're all on their way to the Grand Canyon, and they call Leslie, and Leslie doesn't know that they're not coming into work, and because it was like on a day when they were supposed to be at work and like whatever, and Leslie freaks out. They call her, and she's on speakerphone, and she's like, where are you? I've called every hospital, like, and the police department, and like, I know you're missing, and whatever. And then she's like, April, like, we've talked about your work ethic, like, this is really disappointing, because April's like, we're not coming in. But then Andy jumps in. It's so funny, actually, and says, like, we're on the way to the Grand Canyon because I've never seen it. April wanted to show me, and also because of love. And Leslie, like, completely changes her attitude, and she's like, oh my God, you're so young and in love and beautiful, and starts telling them like what to do in the Grand Canyon, and it's like so cute. April hangs up on her, and then Leslie calls back, and April, it's just like really, I thought it was like only a minute or something, but I just thought that was so interesting for each of their characters, because April's like, no, don't tell her, and then Andy's like, I'm just gonna be honest, and Leslie ends up really loving it and changing her whole mind, like even though she's the boss, like, because she just thinks that it's so cute and like loving, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really cute and precious.
Nice. I love it.
But yeah, okay, well, that was Pawnee Rangers. We did it.
Pawnee Rangers, we did it.
Thank
Yes,
you
we
to
did.
everyone for messaging me back, and hopefully we'll hear from people as we go on. But for right now, it'll be an interesting time warp to see when this comes out.
Yeah, seriously.
So, but yeah, we will see you on the next episode, and we hope that you have a wonderful day.